there's a storm coming. Or maybe it's already here. And the peace we once knew will be stolen by the wind and the rain and the sound of thunder. And as the storm rages on and beats against us, how will we react? Will we be afraid or angry? Or will we lose our faith? Or can we find peace even in the middle of a storm? Let me tell you a story. On that day, when evening had come, Jesus said to his disciples, "Let us go across to the other side of the sea." And leaving the crowd behind, they took him with them on a boat, just as he was. Suddenly, a great windstorm arose, and the waves beat against the boat, so that the boat was already being swamped. But Jesus was in the stern, asleep on a cushion. And they woke him up, and they said to him, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" He woke up and rebuked the wind and said to the sea, "Peace, be still." Then the wind ceased, and there was a dead calm. And Jesus said to them, "Why are you afraid? Have you still no faith?" And they were filled with great awe, and said to them, "Who then is this man, that even the wind and the sea obey him?" Have you ever felt like the disciples in this story? Have you ever been anxious or afraid? Like your life was out of control, like a ship tossed at sea? Have you ever cried out to God saying, "God, do you even care that I'm dying?" Well, God does care. He hears and he responds. And in this passage from Mark 4, he gives the perfect response. The words of Jesus, "Peace, be still." And to read or listen to the words of Jesus is to have an encounter with Christ, the Son of God. And when you encounter Christ, you come away with only two options. The first is to have a reaction, but the second is to put his words into action. Now, the reaction is something we all understand. It's you either like it or you dislike it. You agree with it or you disagree. You believe in it or you doubt. When the disciples were caught in the storm, they had a reaction. They didn't like it. They were anxious and they doubted God. The disciples were stuck in their reaction while Jesus was showing them faith in action. And this is what Jesus calls his followers and dares his challengers to try, to follow his example. And Jesus modeled the perfect example for us in a storm. He modeled peace, a peace so perfect he could rest and fall asleep knowing that God was in control. Too often our go-to reaction in a storm is to panic. We respond with fear and doubt because we've lost control. However, Jesus is calm, at rest, because he knows that God is in control. Now, maybe we never knew this was an option, and maybe the example that Jesus has for us here is a brand new one to us. But now that we know, which would we choose? Panic or peace? Fear or calm? The next time you face a storm in your life, follow Jesus' example. Say to the wind and the rain, "Peace, be still." And then take your own advice. Find peace and know that God is in control.